See, my leg. It's it's been like this since I was like 12 years old. It's chair. Hey, I can walk on it. Like I use a cane and there's a string on it or something. Been like it since I was like 12 years old. And you know, they had broke my other leg. That lady, they say her name was Yolanda, had broke my other leg one day. I don't know why she did it. I was going down the steps. Oh, that's what they were saying. Somebody said, I saw you on them steps. They said it'd be like voices and spirits. Like, they was playing with magic and witchcraft and stuff in them houses. And it was like them different spirits. Somebody was like, you, Londa Jackson, I saw you on them steps. What you did to that boy leg, my leg. And it was after I was 12 years old, when they did it to my other leg, And, all of these happened like after, I was sexually abused and molested ever since I was like 5 years old. She said she had 4 boys, and the other 3, they abused me. It was either sexual abuse, or physical abuse, like they broke my arm and stuff like that. And went to a lot of different doctors. They gave me different like mental health drugs or pills called psychiatric medicine. They said stuff like bipolar disorder, PTSD, schizoaffective disorder, major depression and stuff like that. You know, I think they said like ADD or ADHD or something like that. Like, I don't know. It's like I would keep saying the same thing every time. And then, like, it'll be like, I be like my voice be different over there, but it'd be like, they be getting mad at the way I be talking in my voice and stuff like that. And then they wouldn't want me telling none of this stuff, That's why I moved from Alabama. See, I'm doing it now. Hold on. This is evidence of it's the month. It's the month of May. It's the first, and I'm on disability, and so they know what I do with the money they give me for disability, and I pay the whole rent, 100% every month, and my name was supposed to have an A on it, but they call me Brandon, so that's what people be saying. And see, it's for the whole month of May, from the 1st and the 1st, and I've been here like for a long time. Cause they said keep the receipt, you know, for your records, because that way they can't see it's a lie or the, you know. So see, I be having receipt. See, 1, 2, 1. See, this is from last month. It was 4 to 5. You see, this one is 5, 6. See, it's got my name. See, it's got my name. You see, and so you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 14 of these receipts. It's like more than a year, you know. It was like, man, Brandon, you been making somebody a lot of money paying all of that rent. And, you know, being married. I have a marriage license, you know. It's like, isn't your wife supposed to be here with you? Like, you pay the whole rent every month and stuff like that. And, you know, I was like, I don't know what she does, you know. Like, I'm not supposed to think bad thoughts about my wife, you know. Because the way I was told is that, you know, my wife is, you know, my girlfriend. She is a girl. She is my friend. She is my wife. And even though different people said their name is April, even though different people used the identity is what they did of this marriage license, they said their name is April. They said that they were, you know, born April 30th, 1986. I don't know if you can see it. See, it says right there for, it's kind of faded because it's old paper, 30, 1986. Let's see, it says 1984. It's my birthday because, see, her name is right here. And it's like, so, you know, they said I'm not supposed to know about that kind of stuff because since I have not been using other people's marriage license and stuff like that, or playing with other people's sex identity of a sexual relationship, you know, a marriage. Since I haven't been doing that kind of stuff to other people, I don't really think the way that they do whoever it is that's been doing stuff like this. And it was like, you know, I have to make videos, you know. It was like, I don't have to, but it was like, it's good for me making videos like that because it's like evidence, you know, of me being where I'm supposed to be, you know, doing what I'm supposed to do, you know, like with the money that I have, you know, because they say it's not really free money. It's like when a person that was abused and went through all of this stuff as a child, you know, I grew up in a house where grown people would They would be having sex. They would be sexually abusing. You know, they would be having butt sex with a child. I was the child they was doing it to. They was having butt sex with a child. A child. Me. And then, you know, tried killing me in 1996 in a car accident. And then the lady said she was with a dude named Willie or Chucky or something like that. They said it was just like that movie, that Chucky movie, the Child's Play or stuff, that they was playing with witchcraft and doing stuff with different bodies and, you know, the same stuff like the identity stuff like that. Like that they wanted to have sex with a child, you know. But it was like, it's crazy, you know, it made me crazy, you know. They say it's like a crazy chick or a disability chick. I don't know if it's for my head or my leg or me being crazy, like, you know, but I don't have any victims though. It was like, that's another reason why it was like I have to make these videos because it was like, but I don't have to, but they was like, for me and my wife and my family, because it was like, since people don't seem to want to tell on themselves and the bad stuff that they did, they was like, some seemed wrong because they was like, I went to court a lot and I got locked up a lot, and they said the police had told me, and they was like, wait a minute, the Macon police in Georgia is not bothering me because ever since August 9th, 2015, when a person said she is my wife, and she said she thought that, you know, that people were saying bad stuff about me and her, and that she thought that somebody said that somebody wanted me being with her sister or married to somebody else or having more than one wife. She was like, no, don't do this stuff. And she was trying to tell me that she had did some bad stuff, and then she had told me like, you know, growing up, going out in churches, it's a word, it was like chastise. It was like something like, it was something about a God chastise those he loved and stuff like that. You know, since I believe in God and being married, you know, she was like trying to practice a religion or something. I'm not really sure because, you know, I can't read people's mind, but you know, she had told me to do that stuff that the mom and the dad and the parents and the preachers be doing, you know. Like when they'll be talking about giving people whippings or a whooping or a spanking. And it was like, it was like, you know, like a paddle or a stick or a switch or, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. She was like, but you got to, or whatever. And I was like, but I don't want to do it. She was like, but you got to. She was like, you're going to have to fight me to get out this door. That's what she said, to leave out or whatever. And I was like, so, you know, I didn't go anywhere, you know. I was like, I can't do these. He was like, well, do it. I was like, you know, what they call it? A lash. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this wrong. This feel like, it feel wrong. You like, you know, but if she telling you to do it and she asking you to do it, then it's not wrong, you know. For me, if she asked me to do it, but if I don't want to do it, then I did right when I was like, I can't keep doing this. I don't want to do this. And then, you know, I ain't told her to, just do some jumping jacks or whatever and move your body around and stuff like that or whatever. Because, you know, sometimes they would do stuff like that. You know, like when I went to like boot camp and stuff like that, they would be like, if you get in trouble, they would tell you to exercise, like do push-ups and stuff like that. So I was like, well, just do some jumping jacks and stuff like that. Because the doctors was like, if you can move your leg and stuff around like that and your bones and stuff, then that means it's not broke. And they said something about going to a hospital, and they was like, yeah, she didn't have any broken bones or none of that stuff. None of that stuff. They was like she didn't have any broken bones or any of that stuff or whatever. And they don't know why she would tell me to do that stuff like that. So they was like, that's why we have to make these videos. And I have a video because I think like they call it a link in the description. The girl that said she was at the hotel. She said that she thought that her sister or somebody that wanted me being with them, and it's just crazy or whatever. I was like, but I have a marriage license or whatever. It's like I'm not even sure who her sister is. Like I've been in Macon, Georgia ever since 2014. Years. So, I don't know if I showed it. I think I did, but I'm kind of crazy. So yeah, just to make sure, wife, family, government, I paid my rent, for the whole month. I don't be doing wasteful spending and stuff like that. Because, you wouldn't want to look like a deadbeat dad and not pay your rent. And you wouldn't want to look like a crackhead or a drug addict trying to do other stuff first. So I might have on the same clothes, the same 1 or 2 shirts or whatever, you know. But I be washing and I be, trying to keep myself clean and stuff, and stuff like that. And so and I don't be having other people in my room and stuff, and I don't be going to other people's room, and I don't be going to other people's house. I just be going back and forth to the store, to catching the bus, sometimes to the bus station, stuff like that. I don't bother nobody. And sometimes I be talking to myself, whatever. Sometimes people be like, shut up or be quiet. I don't even be talking to them. So I just don't even sit into them. I just be talking to, my God, the God I believe in. They say no sex before marriage, no children born outside of marriage, stuff like that. So it was like, the only person you ever had sex with said that their name is April, then as long as it's sex, according to being married and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, the person that they say you married to is the only person you ever had sex with. So it was like, yeah, I'm straight, as far as practicing the same religion of the God I believe in. I only ever had sex ever in life, ever with a person that said their name's April, a person that said that, you know, she's my wife. And when she said that, it was like, this is evidence of 2004. Because when she said she my wife, she said that, I'm the husband, you know. So it was like, I don't know, like, if people, I don't know what they've been doing with these names and stuff like that. But, it's crazy. So, like this video is evidence that, I paid, the rent. And they was like, you don't have to be ashamed to rent because they was like, whether a person worked at a job or whether a person gets a social security check or on disability, it's not your fault. They say it's not my fault being disabled, right? I didn't sexually abuse and molest myself. I didn't physically abuse and injure myself, you know, stuff like that. And so it was like, it's not my fault, and they know that, yeah, I tried working a lot, when I was 12 years old and they said I was in a car accident, them people that said that they was a family, they just wanted to get some money. It was like, as soon as like they got a chance, they tried sending me to a boot camp when I was 14 for no reason at all. It's because I was telling on them, because first they had burnt the house down. And it was like, what was the address? It was 1520 65th Street. And I think it was 1520 65th Street, South or Southwest. And it was in the Green Acres neighborhood of Birmingham, Alabama. The lady was like, the house was falling in and it was raggedy. And they had the scam. She was like, if you burn the house down, that's what she was telling the children. If they burn the house down, they would they know the police officer, and then they would get an insurance check or something for the house being burnt down. And then she told us to tell lies about what was in the house. She went to the thrift store and bought like some old furniture, and she was like, "Tell them you had a video game and a big TV and stuff like that that got burnt," because it was like a lot of crazy stuff like that, you know. They was doing this stuff, and she had went to that lady that they said was her mom's house or whatever. You know, it's crazy because like them people would be grown people that would be having sex with children, you know, and like they would be grown. They would be like way older than I am now. I'm 39 years old. They would be at their mom's house, grown, like. A lot of them never even had their own place, and they had children themselves. And some of them they said was having sex with their own children. And, you know, like I was mad, you know, cause like it's a bad feeling, you know. You know, it be in the environment when it's like if you in one room and you under the same roof, you know, in the house or apartment, and somebody having sex with their own dad in the next room, it's like you feel it anyway, and it be like, ugh. Or if they having sex with their own mom or their brother or sister, it's like you feel it anyway. It be in the atmosphere. You be like, ugh. Well, where do I go? Like I'm just a child, you know, like just a child, you know, just 12 years old, you know. And so they was there, and the police had came, and I was like, and they was like, and so this and that, and I was like, y'all burnt that house down. I saw them. I saw the dude like with the gas can, and I saw them coming from the back of the house. I saw them. I was mad. It was a girl in the sixth grade. You know, she was saying that she said she was interested in being my girlfriend. You know, since I had got molested all of them times and was abused or whatever, I wanted a girlfriend, you know. Like, I wanted the right kind of sex life, you know. You know, somebody my age, you know. Somebody that, you know, was not a grown person that wanted to have sex with a child. You know, stuff like that. I was mad about it, you know. Because they was like, you would have to go to another school because they would move somewhere. And I'm like, man, it's crazy, man. So, you know, like elementary school and middle school, I got molested and stuff, you know. It was boys or men and stuff like that. These folks were grown. Because, you know, I was in the sixth grade and stuff like that, you know. They said, like, you know, it's not a sexual relationship if you never even kissed them, you never even hugged them, you never even did anything other than just say hey or talk on the phone a couple of times, and she said she was your girlfriend or stuff like that, or she like you and stuff like that, and this is all. It's crazy. You know, I be feeling bad and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, just crazy, man. You know. So you know, it's like, you know, going to the doctor, they was like this kind of like mental health treatment too, because it's like self management when you get the bad feelings out of your system by facing the truth. So like, yeah, like you have to look at the camera with your face and face the truth and not be ashamed of being yourself, you know. And cause you know, it's like when I would try to call over to the house and talk to the church, it'd be like, I don't like that voice you talking in and stuff like that. I'm like, I ain't even called to talk to you. It should be links in the description where I was like, hey, I'm calling to check on the church. I don't like your tone of voice and stuff. I'm like, I didn't ask you if you liked my tone of voice or if I have to talk a certain way. Like, it's like I got it. Just like she's saying, you got to go through her to get to them. Like, why is everything such a challenge? I'm physically challenged. I'm mentally challenged. I'm tired of these challenges, man. It's crazy. I'm so tired of these challenges that, you know, they had a car, they call the Dodge Challenger, and I don't even want one because it got the word challenge in it. It's all this challenging and stuff like that. Stop challenging all of this stuff. Like, stop challenging me. It's crazy. You know? So, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, see, it's just all over the place, man. Like, they say that, like, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, the police hadn't really been bothering me. I'd be going to the store and stuff like that. Or they'll, like, it's like, they know that I didn't do anything wrong, but it's kind of like it's some kind of bad energy because people was playing with magic and witchcraft and doing stuff they weren't supposed to do, and that some people owe some people money, and it's like they think it got to do with them families and stuff, and they it's not because of me, and I don't know why they did it, but they was like, it's got something to do with the justice system or something like that. 'Cause it was like when I was in that car accident and I was 12 years old. It's evidence of it that as soon as I turned like 14, it was like when I was 12 years old, it took about a year or so for them to get the insurance check. And then they said sometime during that time, because it was during 1996, that I had started getting the disability check and stuff like that. They had messed me up real bad and stuff. They was like, they did that stuff to me on purpose because I didn't even know. They was like, the disability check was going to that lady that said she was the mom, because they was like, it was a payee on it, and she just didn't tell me about it, and they got mad at the social security office about it. Like, I was grown, like, and then like they had to say, no, you can't get his money. I was grown. I had a marriage license. I have a marriage license. This was after 2004. They was like, wait a minute, she not giving you your money? Hold on. You grown. You married. Like you supposed to get no, you didn't know. It was like it was like so they had got a copy of my marriage license and put it in the file at Social Security because they was like, it's evidence. They was like, this dude is married. That lady wasn't supposed to be getting his disability check. They was like, these are my disabilities. Like I'm the one that got hurt. I'm the one that like got beat up. I'm the one that they be calling ugly and saying, "Ugh, look at his leg," or they be like, "Ugh, look at him in the wheelchair" and stuff like that. And and they tried making girls like be ashamed of me, like you need a real man instead of they would call me. They would say he just crippled or whatever, and they would be like he crippled, cripple, crip. And I would be like, that's a gang. Don't call me that. And so, it's crazy. They would be calling me crippled or crip and stuff like that. And then it was brainwashing or whatever. Like they tried to get me in trouble with a gang and stuff. I never got initiated into no gang, or stuff like that. And they were saying it about me because of my leg and because of me being disabled. They was talking about me behind my back and telling the girls, bad stuff about me and crazy because they was like so I don't know why, but they were like some of the girls joined in with them and was going along with saying bad stuff about me, and it was like after so long, some of them started feeling bad about it because they were like, I really never did anything wrong to anybody, and they were like that's what part of the court case stuff is about because they were like this thing went too far. They was like, wait a minute, it's evidence now when you look back at this dude's life that when he was 12 years old in that car accident, he didn't have any victims or any of that stuff. He had never even had sex with anybody before, and he was the victim of the car accident. He was the victim of being molested. He was supposed to be the youngest of what they call the family. He was just a child, you know. Like these grown people fighting a child, grown people beating up a child, grown people having sex, sexually abusing a child. Me, the child. And it was like, and there's also evidence of that too, because them same people that said that they your mom or dad or brothers or they family, well, it's people that say they name Williams or Johnson. If you in this bad condition and all of this stuff and you been here for years, they like ain't nobody seen none of them people being friends or family to you. And so they was like, at this point, it looked like those families are criminals, and like they was using and abusing me for money and insurance scams that I was not part of because I was never the one getting the money for it. They was like the only reason if it wasn't for like me being married and being grown, it was like I wouldn't even be getting a disability check at all, because some of them people that didn't get married, I guess they thought he was supposed to be still at that house with that lady. Like them people that be grown and still at the house with somebody that they say is their dad or their mom or their grandma and stuff like that. So that's what I mean by that, moving out the house and getting married and stuff like that. They was like he would have to have his own money because, he not a mama's boy or one of them dudes that be sleeping on somebody's couch. It was like, yeah, I never had a an apartment in the projects or in the Section 8 housing and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just evidence that, like I didn't want to be like them because they said that's what they did, like they had us in like the projects and in them places like that. And since I was abused and molested in places like that and stuff like that, I would get a bad feeling about being in those kind of places with children or as a child or having children there. So, when they said that a girl was pregnant and stuff like that, and being married and all of that stuff, and the child was born August 31st, 2004, and she said her name as the mom is April, and she said she my wife and stuff. I had an apartment at 402 May Circle, Cane Creek Apartments because, I didn't want to go to the projects or to a Section 8 apartment and stuff like that or whatever because the people that said that they was in their families, they would be having sex with children or with their own children or with a child. Not all the people. I mean, I don't know all the people, but I'm saying the people that I was around that said they was part of those families, the ones who abused me. And so that's what they were talking about. They were like, wait a minute. So when he was 12, he was in the car accident. They tried to get insurance money and filed a lawsuit while he was 13. He kept telling that they burnt that house down and that they was molesting and abusing him. She told him to shut up and stuff like that. And she filed a petition on him and said he was getting on her nerves or something about ward of the state and stuff like that. And then, like, as soon as they got the Social Security check and the trust fund and car insurance money and stuff like that, she started giving money to the people that abused me for, like, it was that dude that she said his name was Chucky or Willie Johnson. They said it was that dude that she got divorced from, and then she tried marrying him again. And I was like, I don't want to be like them. I don't like those bad divorce spirits because it was the same thing that they said that Aldrin dude did. Talking about he was married to Batista and got divorced, and I was like, I don't want none of them divorce spirits because they be playing games. They be talking about getting married, then getting divorced, and then getting married again. I'm like, I don't do none of this stuff like that. I'm like, no, I don't want none of that bad energy from them people that be getting divorced and all of that stuff. And then, it's crazy. And it was like, getting married and getting divorced and getting married and getting divorced, like all of it, it's crazy. It's like, like I have marriage license, it's in 2004, and and like, yeah, I had moved to them apartments. They're like, when I moved to them apartments, you gotta tell you I did. I moved to them apartments because when I met a girl and she was like 14 years old, I was 16 years old. Like they was like, them people in their house be having sex with their brother and sister or their mom and their dad. And then one of them said, that they said they had different moms or different dads, and one of them said that her mom and her dad was brother and sister. And then, it's crazy too because he was like her dad is her uncle at the same time, and that like they said that one of the girls like her dad was her baby daddy. So that one of the girls said her child and was her sister. You know, because you like they had the same dad. They said a girl had sex with her own dad and had a child, and it was a girl, and that a mom and her daughter was sisters because they had the same dad. I don't want to get in trouble for the sex that they had and stuff. And they was like, they'd be like, oh, so when that girl kept telling you to come over to their house and stuff like that, she was trying to get out of that situation. Like, exactly. And they were like, two people being married. The ideal, a husband, a wife, one marriage, you know, stuff like that. Moved away to a different city, you know, in 2004. See, he said 2004. You know, I made plans for a marriage, you know, trying to help save a girl's life. When they said that their mom and dad was brother and sister and it was church and it was their own daughter's sister and their dad was their uncle and all this, like crazy. So they said, yeah, that's the parents' fault. And they were like, that's what they were telling us at church. They said when they say that a child is born in sin, the sin is not the sin of the child. The child has no sin. They said when they say a child is born in sin, the sin is the sin of the mom and dad, you know. They said when they not married and the child is born, you know, it's not the child fault that the mom and dad was not married. So they like, the child had no sin. The sin that the child was born in was the sin, you know, of the mom and the dad, you know, not being married. And if they couldn't get married because they brother and sister or because somebody had sex with their own child, then maybe you shouldn't be having sex with your own child. Maybe you should not have been having sex with your own child. The child got an excuse. A child is a child. But the grown person that was having sex with their own child, it's crazy. I don't want to get in trouble for the sex that they had. And they were like, that's how some of them children felt in their house, you know, at least one of them, you know. And they were like, no, more than one, because, see, that's the problem. See, all these different people been trying to say that they named April Williams, them different girls in the picture, and, like, see, it's evidence of it now. Them people was having sex with their own church, you know. You know, just like the paper get old is what they said. Like, stuff like that get old. A person end up being like my age. I'm like 39 years old. They don't want to have sex with their mom or their dad. Like, it was weird then and it's weird now. And once you old enough and you're not a child no more, it's like, it's kind of hard to do. It's like, that's your mom, that's your dad. Like, you know that now. It's like, it's not the same. It was never right, but it's like extra wrong now. It's like, and if y'all already got children and stuff, some people like they be like, they not trying to be ashamed. They want everybody to know. They don't care. They just don't want to do that kind of stuff no more. And they like it's the parents that did this stuff, you know. Like, why would you be having sex with your own child if you ashamed to tell folks you was having sex with your own child? Why would you be having sex with your brother or sister and having children with your brother and sister if you ashamed to tell folks you had sex with your? They're like, you shouldn't do stuff if you ashamed of it. You know, it's not other people's job to get in trouble for the sex you had. You know, people that believe in God and like they don't want to play with souls. They don't want to play with sex. They don't want to play with the way people were born. You know, basically they don't want to get in trouble for the sex other people had. And they were like, yeah, that's what I got to say, you know, because they were like, and they were like, that's what everybody would have to say, because they were like, I believe in God. And they was like, when a person gets pregnant, they would have to say when they get pregnant. Because some people be like, oh, so if the child wasn't born, then they be like, nope, don't, there's no way out. Once a person is pregnant, that was either your brother or your sister, or you was a grown person having sex with a child. Like once it's done, it's done. You shouldn't have did that. And they were like, that's what's wrong, because they kept trying to get me. They like, somebody wanted me to be in trouble with them, but that's kind of hard to do because they said, well, first of all, I don't have a sister. And it was like the family court actually helped me in a way, because since they made sure that the children was really never around, in a way, that worked out for my good, because now nobody could ever accuse me of ever having sex with my own children, because they was never there. And it was like, in the background, some of it was for a real good reason, because since people like accusing other people of what they did, they had plans of accusing me of having sex with a child, or my own child, or my own children. So they was like, yeah, it was a reason behind doing all of this stuff, and it hurt and it's sad that it had to be that way, because it didn't really have to be that way, because whoever it was that kept trying to blame me, they should have just let it go. They should have started with, they should have just been like, hey, look, this dude ain't got no victims. Why you keep wanting to get me in trouble for nothing? It's crazy, you know? It's like, wait, they want me to be in another car accident so that they can get an insurance check? No. Wait, they want me to slip and fall down the stairs? I'm not suing anybody for nothing. I'm not part of no scam. If I fell down every stair in this hotel and busted my leg and all of this stuff, I wouldn't sue nobody. The same way I ain't been taking no medicine and stuff or whatever. I would just, I would just be hurt, you know? I ain't never went in no courtroom and tried to sue nobody. It was like, if somebody had a lawsuit or needed to be sued, I believe in God, and they sue in spiritual court. In God, in my God's court, it's a different way that they sue. It's not about money. So I was like, some of these people only care about money, and they was like, and that's why you don't have to worry about the character of my wife, because it was like, you know the character of my wife. My wife, because it was like, being married, my wife believes in the same God I believe in, because being married, is about believing, according to which God you believe in, or whatever God you believe in. It's like, but the God I believe in, that God, they be like, no sex before marriage, or no sex without being married, no children born outside of marriage or before marriage and stuff like that. And so it says 2004, April 30th, 2004. So they said, the family court said I had children born after April 30th, 2004. They said August 31st is after April 30th, 2004. They said July 18th, 2006 is after April 30th, 2004. And they say October 6th, 2008 is after April 30th, 2004. So this is evidence of a marriage license, and the birth certificates of the church is evidence of them being born after a marriage license. For me, as evidence, is here, I have a marriage license. And they said a girl was 18 years old and she was trying to get out of that neighborhood because people was having sex with church, and then it was people that was saying that they claimed that they had sex with her as a child. And then they started trying to claim that the children was they church, and other people church, and ever since October 6, 2006, it's been some crazy stuff going on with a family court case and stuff. And they were like, that part, of like, some of it was for my good so that I wouldn't be accused of doing stuff with a child. And they was like, when you look at it, they was like, okay, when I was 12 years old, and then they was like, they got that insurance money from a car accident, and they burnt that house down and got that. Then they went and got a house that was never for me, because if as soon as I was 14, they sent me away. None of the money that was for me, they never had plans on using it for me. They just wanted a party house in a house where grown folks would have sex with a child. So when I was 14, they sent me to a boot camp. I was still there when I was 15 because it's evidence in that same family court that I was there. He was like, yup, he was in the juvenile Jefferson County family court system. He ain't have no victim. That lady that said she was his mom filed a petition on him after she got that money. She was just using him for money. And it was like the same way she filed a petition on him when he was a child, she could have filed a petition when them boys that she said was her other children was doing butt sex and molesting him and when they broke his arm and all of that. Because they were like, you either know how to tell on children and get them sent to juvenile or boot camp or to the family court, or you don't. And it was like when she sent Brandon to that family court and he's supposed to be the baby, the youngest of the family, the baby. It was like, she seemed like the wrong kind of person because she was supposed to be saying the same thing that I'm saying now. If she was your mom and if the dude she married to was my dad, they were supposed to be saying, Brandon, my child, who had sex with my child? They were supposed to be like, who abused my child? Who tried killing my child? My baby, my youngest child, my child, my child. And right, see, they ain't do none of that, you know. And it was like all the judges in the family court know that. And they was like looking back on it. They were like, a lot of them people don't even work there no more. And they felt bad. They were like, this is a real bad case. Because they was like, when they sent him away and did this stuff, they were like, you know, he was the baby of a family and y'all didn't care. You treated him like some criminal and he ain't had no victim when he was 14. And then he was abused and could barely walk. And you made him feel like a criminal. He was 14. And she said he was harassing her because of this. He was like, but I'm your child. You say I'm your child. Or why you abusing me if I'm your child? It's like, so it was like, when I was 14, I was there in the boot camp when I was 15. Then when I was 16, she said I was getting on her nerves, you know. And, you know, she would be beating me up. And she said she hated me. And when I was 16, so I was 14 in boot camp. But when I was 15, you know, because they sent me there when I was 14. I was locked up because I had a birthday and I was 15. When I was 16, I went to a group home. When I was at the group home, I told them I don't want to go back to their house because she keep being mean to me. They had a meeting about it and everything. It was at the Gaston group home. They know, they was like, yo, Shaw did. He did tell. And looking back on it, years later, they kept abusing him after he left the group home. They were like, he probably never should have went back there. And that's why I don't even be going over there no more. I don't even call over their house. And they were like, yeah, they tried to use the children as a weapon. I don't even know why they would give her them children. I told them folks in the court, don't give the children to her. Do not send the children to her house. She is a child abuser, and them people at that house, they be having sex with children. They be trying to have sex with a child. But, you know, they did it anyway. I don't know why. So, you know, when I was 14, I was in a juvenile facility and they sent me to a boot camp and I was there when I was 14 and 15. When I was 16, I went to a group home, the Gaston group home, and I got my high school equivalent certificate, GED and stuff like that, you know. Instead of them saying, hey, you did good, you got your GED through high school, hey, you did good, like that, like none of that, you know. They abused me even more and then made sure that I got locked up when I was 17. So you see, when I was 14, I was in juvenile and went to a boot camp when I was 15. And I stayed there from the time I was 14 to 15. By the time I was 16, they sent me to a group home. You know, I was trying to like better myself and get a GED, high school equivalency. They didn't even care, you know. I was 16 years old. A lot of folks said, boy, you had your GED at 16. That's good. You ain't get no car when you was 16. That's crazy. But you had trust fund money. She got somebody else a car with your money. Like, yeah, that's mental and emotional abuse. You probably cried and felt bad about that, didn't it? You know I felt bad. You know I did. So it was like, and you was 16. Then what happened when you was 17? The other dudes that was there, they said was her children. They was like, hey, Brandon, you want to smoke this weed and stuff like that or whatever and stuff like that. And then the police said I had some weed. It was like they set me up because, they said they know the police. They told me to smoke weed, and then the police said I had weed. Then they sent me away when I was 17. So I was gone when I was 14, 15, 16, 17. And when I left when I was 17, they told me I had some weed. I stayed there until after I was 18 years old. Because they were like, you got to stay till you 18. And you're not leaving on your 18th birthday. You got to stay until after you 18. Like, that family set me up the whole time. And when they look back at it, they were like, you didn't have a victim for any of them crimes that they call crimes. And you was a child because it was juvenile. So they were like, wait a minute. And you was the baby of a family. It was like the family should have been investigated. The people that they said was your family, they are the criminals. You didn't have a childhood. You was abused the whole time. And they was like, yeah, the justice system, they said, and it seemed like they investigating that family because they was like all the way up until August 9th, 2015. And I'm gonna get to that. They were like, it seemed like some of these people being part of a group or some stuff, and they've been abusing me too much, and the government don't want to take the blame for what a few police officers did, what a few judges did, and what a few lawyers did. Because first of all, they were like, I have to say these, it's not all the police officers. Every police officer did not arrest me. It wasn't every police officer. They said it was just the ones, the bad ones. And they said it wasn't every courtroom judge. It was just the bad ones. And they said it wasn't every lawyer. It was just the bad ones. Because they was like, that's why I'm here right now, because some of the people is not like that. And it was like, you just can't keep locking the person up like that with no victims. It's like, they know that it's some criminal group or crime ring is what they call it. That it seemed like basically they said, long story short, they mad at me because I told on them. And it's been people getting in trouble for having sex with a child. But it's like, they can't even be mad at me for that. I didn't make anyone have sex with a child. How you gonna be mad at me for something you did? And since I'm not in the group and I never made a pledge or took an oath or none of that, I never made, they say it's not snitching if you're not part of the group. Because since you're not part of the group, it's not snitching. It's just me telling my truth, the story of my life, as a witness of what happened to me. And so they were like, that's what happened. Somebody that was the leader of the group, whether they claim they're a boss or an OG or a Don or some mob or mafia, they were so used to being able to tell people in their group what to do. And then they realized, wait a minute, he not actually part of the group. He don't really have to listen to you. You not his boss. You not his OG. You not his Don. He not part of that mob. He not part of that mafia. You not his leader. He never pledged or made an oath. And, he never benefited from none of this stuff. Being abused and used and sexually molested and all of that stuff and locked up over and over again. Yeah, that's not benefiting. That's being abused. It was like, even people that was in them groups, a lot of them people, they said they didn't back that, man, was like, yeah, this wrong. Because, well, if they did that to me, they was doing it to other people, and they don't want people doing that kind of stuff to their child, And then looking back on it, they were like, a lot of them people was on drugs and stuff back then, and some of the people don't do drugs no more, and now that they off drugs, they like, they can't believe they did this stuff to a child. So it's crazy. So it's like I said, so they were like, wait a minute, you ain't have no childhood when you was 14. They sent you away to go to a boot camp when you was there when you was 15. When you was 16, she just said you was getting on her nerves because when they sent you to boot camp, she just said she was getting on her nerves. It was no victim in, sent you to a boot camp. When you was 17, they gave you some weed or whatever, then basically told the police he got some weed. They just gave it to him, lock him up, get him out the way. They didn't want me to have sex or be married, because the girls my age, they said the grown men and the police officers that was there in them neighborhoods wanted to have sex with the children. They wanted to have sex with a child. They wanted to have sex with my girlfriend, my wife, or those people that said in April they look like her. Why you think I came to Georgia and left that state? Them people crazy. Not all of them, but the people that was doing it. So, so they like, you was 14, went to boot camp. When you was 15, yeah, no victims none of the time. Just her saying you getting on her nerves. And then when you was 16, just her saying you getting on her nerves, went to a group home. Then when you was 17, they gonna make it look like it's your fault. Give him some weed. They said that's what, the bad dude told him. and then tell the police, it's his cousin, like they related to him. And then I went to that place until I was 18. So like I didn't get to be 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18 for real. And then it was like, as soon as I turned 18, that's when I finally got a chance to go back to the house where I met a girl when she was 14. And she was like, somebody did say their name was April, said she was my girlfriend, and she wanted me being married with her, and getting out of the neighborhood and all of that stuff like that. And it's like the same stuff happened again. Like before the child was born, it's like they broke my other leg when I was at work. They was like they tried killing me at that job. It's like somebody obsessed with her or me not being married or not wanting, or somebody want me not to be. It's like it's crazy. It's like it's just crazy. Like, and it's like they had set it up again too. They was like, if you take all of his money, he'll steal some or whatever. They said it was a scam that they did. They said I would pick the girl up from school every day. And when I say a scam, I was the victim of the scam. They said if you take all his money from him and stuff like that, and then call on the phone and be like, Brandon, help, somebody trying to abuse me, somebody trying to hurt me. It's this dude following me, like he keep trying to molest me and keep trying to have sex with me and stuff like that. And then they would know that I wouldn't have no money. They said they don't know if it was my girlfriend or wife that did it. They said it's them people that would set me up because they know where I was. And then they was like, and then he'll snatch somebody's purse or something like that or whatever, and then get in trouble and go to prison and stuff like that. And then they were like, it didn't happen that way. They were like, I went to court. Them people was like, wait a minute, why would he have to snatch somebody's purse if he had a trust fund and they were supposed to be giving him money? He was supposed to have money. And if he was getting a social security check and a trust fund, so he had the trust fund and the social security check, and they said he snatched somebody's purse when he was 18. Like, that family set him up. They kept trying to send him to jail. And they did kept sending him to jail. And then they kept making me pay money from back to the jail and stuff, talking about restitution. And they were like, yeah, it was a police officer. One of them girls was with a police officer, and one of the girls was using the name April, like just like when she was like somebody was trying to get her, and they said you snatched somebody's person was getting. They were like, one of the girls was using the name April. They don't know if it's your wife's name or is this a name that they was using or if it's a different person. But they was like, the name April has been used in identity theft in some kind of fraud, and I have been the victim all of these times, and I was never supposed to have went to jail. And they like somebody in that Williams family and in that Johnson family knows about this stuff, because when they look up those names in the system, them people in the Johnson family got a criminal background, they say, of trying to sue people and trying to file lawsuits, and I don't, because I'm not like them. I never tried